I have been spit in the face before. Loogie running down my face. I've been slapped. I have been pushed. I have been many things, but I never been in a fight outside the cage because I was always afraid that I would really, really hurt somebody, because I was in the code. I grew up studying and worshiping the samurai. And in the code of the Bushido, if you unsheath your sword, it is now to the death. That is the most dishonorable thing, is to unsheath your sword and then put it back in and not use it. You kill yourself. If you do that, it's called ritual suicide. Now you have to kill yourself. You disgraced our honor. And I took that very, very seriously. So if I was ever going to fight, it was going to be to the death. And so if somebody was going to push me there, I was going to kick out their knee. You understand? We're not going to do the square up thing. I'm going to kick out your knee and I'm going to stomp on your neck. I'm going to stomp on your head, and it's going to be over. And then I'm going to go on to the next person, because I know I have to defend myself, because there's probably going to be a group of people around me. You understand? And I might get shot. So everything is to the death. So do we really want to take it there? Or do you just want to fuck off? Or I'm going to go home now. Because if you really wanted to take it there, I would just follow you home and kill you. But we're not going to take it there. So it's not that serious. A loogie in my face is not that serious. So to switch that off in MMA was very hard for me when I was first getting started, because I had to get over the fear of hurting people. Is that one going to go?
Yeah.
Good?
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
How are you feeling?
Feel great all the time. Blessed. Grateful. All the time.
Brother Joel, welcome to the set. Joel Bauman, King Bao, ConspiraGOAT. All of it. Welcome. So how do you choose to introduce yourself? I know you like to people
I am who I am.
I am.
There is no titles. There is no nothing. I am whatever people want to call me. I just play the game. Just play the game. Just play the game. You be, and through you being, you experience. And since we're a collective, people then can experience me through me simply being. And from that, they're going to have the perceptions on whatever the fuck they're going to have their perceptions on. So I'm just going to be whatever it is that I want to be in the moment, and then let people decide what that is. ConspiraGOAT is me making fun of the world. King Bao, the artist, is the ego fulfilling itself in its own dopeness, in its own look. You have to acknowledge what I am, greatness. And Joel Bauman is just the kid who grew up in Kirkhoven, Minnesota, who fucking made it out. That's it.
So I think we wanted to start with MMA, and you got me thinking though when you talked a little about ConspiraGOAT, and I truly am. I'm really curious, like what's the inspiration to troll the establishment and make fun of the world, in your own words?
Because they're fucking stupid. They think that they can do what they're doing and get away with it. Otherwise they wouldn't be doing it. People are allowing it. I'm sick of allowing any type of bullshit in my life to occur. It goes for people. That goes for experiences. I'm in alignment, and I know I'm in alignment because I am alignment. These people that control everything, that are doing these narratives that are hurting people, that's not alignment, that's not truth, that's not what I'm here for. We're in the 5D now. It is time to ascend. It is time to become, and it is time to create the utopia that we are supposed to have. They're not doing that, so I'm going to make fun of it. Because it's easy to see if you have the eyes to see it. Now more and more people. It's funny because now people are calling me ConspiraGOAT. People are, they look back at all my videos and they go, wow, he was right. He's been right about a lot of the things that he says. He's not that crazy dude that we thought he was. Well, to a lot of people, I may have been crazy, but to a lot of people in the know, like yourself or some other people, they understand the mind. They've seen it in all facets. You can't think you know me if you haven't been there when I've been speaking to crowds of 1,000 or 1,500. You can't say you know me if you haven't been there from when I was running a football back in high school trying to break the Minnesota rushing record. Like, there's so many different compartments of me, but ConspiraGOAT is the one that the public gets because I feel it's what the public needs to see now.
And you did break that Minnesota rushing record in high school, didn't you?
I was off by, I had the record and then I lost it.
Oh.
I had, so this is the one. I'm healed from it, it doesn't matter. So my last game of all time was against Dawson Boyd, Minnesota. And Dawson Boyd was the team that we had beat to go to the state finals the year before that. And we had lost all of our starters on offense. I was the only returning starter besides one of my other friends. And he just played. But yeah, one of the only returning starters on offense, and they were not going to let me break the rushing record at their home game. It was our first game. They were the number one seed. We were the last seed because we only won 2 games, barely. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We're terrible, and if I was going to break the rushing record, I had to fight for it. I ran for like a 50 or 60 yard. I needed like 80 some yards or something like that. Long story short, I broke a big run, had it, and then I ended up with like negative 21 yards.
In a single play?
In the game.
In the game, oh no.
So imagine what had to happen for that to be the case. We had it and then we lost it. So.
Tough, that's all right. Like you said, you're healed from it.
Yeah, exactly, it doesn't matter.
In you take your healing very seriously.
Absolutely.
And one I think in the fight world, in the mixed martial arts world, one of the things that stands out to a lot of people is your calmness. And I think your calmness and your preparedness, your confidence, I'm not sure maybe how to describe it. But I'm seeing some form of overlap between the work that you do healing yourself from your past experiences and traumas and the ability to stay calm and confident in your preparedness. Can you just talk to us a little bit about how that
You got a good eye, my friend.
intersects?
You got a very good eye. So when I first started fighting, my biggest thing was hurting people. I couldn't hurt people. All my amateur fights, there really is no knockout besides my 3rd fight and my 6th fight. Numerology. And every fight was a lesson because I needed to get over the fear. I've never been in a fight outside of the cage. I have been spit in the face before. Loogie running down my face. I've been slapped. I have been pushed. I have been many things, but I never been in a fight outside the cage because I was always afraid that I would really, really hurt somebody because I was in the code. I grew up studying and worshiping the samurai. And in the code of the Bushido, if you unsheath your sword, it is now to the death. That is the most dishonorable thing, is to unsheath your sword and then put it back in and not use it. You kill yourself. If you do that, it's called ritual suicide. Now you have to kill yourself. You disgraced our honor. And I took that very, very seriously. So if I was ever going to fight, it was going to be to the death. And so if somebody was going to push me there, I was going to kick out their knee. You understand? We're not going to do the square up thing. I'm going to kick out your knee and I'm going to stomp on your neck. I'm going to stomp on your head and it's going to be over. And then I'm going to go on to the next person because I know I have to defend myself because there's probably going to be a group of people around me. You understand? And I might get shot. So everything is to the death. So do we really want to take it there? Or do you just want to fuck off? Or I'm going to go home now. Because if you really wanted to take it there, I would just follow you home and kill you. But we're not going to take it there. So it's not that serious. A loogie in my face is not that serious. So to switch that off in MMA was very hard for me when I was first getting started because I had to get over the fear of hurting people. You can ask everybody that I train with every time. For my first, to this day, I still do it. It's just in me. It's just in me. I care about people. I've had concussions that almost took my career away from me at one point in time. I believe that almost took my career away from me. So every time I hit somebody clean with a jab in practice, you good? You all right? Ask any of my training partners now. They know. They know how I am. Same thing. Because I know I can hit someone if I want to. And I've always thought I hit really, really hard. I know I hit really, really hard. So if I were to ever hit someone as hard as I could, let's just say, like on the street, I thought I would kill them if they hit their head or something. I'm not playing that game. So in the cage now, over the last couple of years, like I said, it's been lessons. Every fight's a lesson. My first fight came out, amateur fight. First thing I did is I said, I want to hit this guy with the hardest leg kick I've ever hit. I just want to get that feeling. I need to feel that because I know I can kick really, really hard, but I need to feel me kicking really, really hard. Throw a leg kick, hit the guy right in the fucking knee, and it was the most excruciating pain I've ever felt in my entire life. And for 15 minutes now, or no, for 9 minutes now, because I think was it 5-minute rounds? Whatever it was. I had to act like I wasn't in the most excruciating pain of my life. And I had to come out and win. You understand what I'm saying? Terrible, shitty fight because I was afraid to hurt the guy. Maybe hit him one time really, really clean. But other than that, I didn't want to hurt him. So second fight, same thing. My goal is to land a kick to the face. That fight, I landed a kick to the face. Didn't knock him out because I didn't put it on it. You know what I mean? Didn't put on. Oh, I can kick people in the face now. Yes. Awesome. Third fight. Guy took it on short notice because I had an opponent pull out. Guy took it on short notice, 2-week notice. And he was confident. He was very out there. He's wanting, I know he wants to throw. He bullies everybody that he fights. And I just said, oh, this guy's probably going to want to try to hurt me. So now guess what's there? The desire. I know this person wants to hurt me. The first two guys, they didn't want to hurt me. They were just nice guys. They just took the fight because they wanted to, take the fight. He wanted to hurt me. And in the fight, he started throwing leg kicks. Started hitting my leg. And I told myself before the fight, this is my third fight. If I can't punch people in the face, I need to stop doing this. Even if this is my dream. I have to stop doing this because why am I doing this? What am I doing this for? And he wants to hurt me. So I put that in my mind. And the entire time in the video that's out there, you can see myself. I'm just kind of waiting. I'm just talking to myself the entire time. I'm like, you got to go. You got to go. He's kicking your leg. Kicked my leg like seven times unanswered. And he's like, he's doing this because he wants to chop your legs to make you a loose target so he can blast your head off. And then he started throwing hands hard. You know what I mean? He's throwing looping punches. And I'm like, okay. You can see the footage. He got knocked out viciously. You understand? Because I made that decision. Every fight has been a spiritual journey. My amateur career, my last fight, and again, every fight is a journey. My fourth fight was against a bigger guy, brawler, and I just said, this fight I want to focus. This fight, it was against another guy. It was against Keenan, my teammate now. He fights at 170 at Jackson Wing, and he was the first solid athlete where I'm just like, I just want to beat him unanimously, right? I want to make it unanimous. So I want to go the distance. We went the distance, beat him unanimously. Next fight, another title fight. I just said, I need to get over my fear of leg kicking because I hadn't thrown a leg kick since I blasted the guy's knee. I was scared. You know what I mean? Because that hurt. And I feel like I almost Anderson Silva'd myself my first fight ever.
And
snapped it. You know what I mean? I know I did because I couldn't walk for 3 weeks after that. You understand what I'm saying? I still have a mark to this day. And so I'm like, I need to get over my fear of throwing leg kicks. Spiritual journey, right? I need to get over fear. So went in there, started just throwing. I threw a whole bunch of leg kicks. Just circle, leg kick, circle, leg kick, takedown. Because I hadn't really wrestled yet. Circle, leg kick, circle, leg kick, takedown. Won easily. Last fight, guy had knocked out everybody. My amateur fight, guy had knocked out everybody in less than a minute. He had 3-4 wins or something like that. Knocked out everybody in less than a minute, and then he came to throw. That fight ended in 27 seconds. Why do you think that is? Because the level is there. That end, you know what I mean? He wants to throw. Every time I've got a knockout, it's because I've thought this person came to play, And there's that energetic respect of, okay, I can't take you lightly because you don't want me to, and that's what you're here to do. So that's the healing journey, man. That was the amateur career. My starting my first 2 fights. A lot of people don't know the backstory to that. I was struggling on all facets of my life, financially, just like everything. Like I was cutting down to 175 on short notice, and that was terrible. And so when a lot of people look at my first 2 wins, they might not think much of them there, but they were against tough opponents. And then we go viral with the head kick knockout afterwards when somebody finally accepts it at 185, and then everybody wants to, now get on the train, ESPN and all this. Bro, this is a spiritual journey for me at the end of the day.
So when you got that first knockout, that third fight, is that when did you realize then, like, all right, I can do this? Like, did that fear go away? Or
yeah, you can see it on the film. I'm shook up because I look back and I saw him and he was fucked up. I hit him and he did a spin. It was just perfect timing. You know what I mean? I just said, I came back. I go, yee, to my corner. And my coach, he goes, well, you did it now. How does it feel? I said, I don't know. He's like, well, if you don't know if it's for you, you better make that decision right now. I said, no, I'm doing this. I have to. He said, all right, that's what I wanted to hear. So, yeah.
So that was your healing from that fear of hurting somebody, right?
Bingo.
And now how do you manage to then find a balance with it? Because you still got to keep that.
Because I balanced my ego. I've balanced my ego because that was the ego in me before was almost trying to like save face or save from I wasn't looking at it in competition. I was looking at it as hurting people. Now I justify it in my mind that this is competition, but this is a competition of who can hurt somebody worse. And now I almost get to fulfill my ego in proving what I've known all along. I know what I am, and I see the money that's been made. I've seen what has done for other people's lives. I see what, like Conor McGregor, everybody looks at Conor McGregor. He's just an example to me, the goal is to make above and beyond that. The goal is to be an example of possibility. If he can do that, what the fuck can I do, right? And respectfully, right? All of this is in respect. But if he can do that, what can I do? I think I'm a better athlete than him. I think I'm more entertaining, more funny, more aware, shall we say. So if that's the case, pay me what I'm worth, because I think I can use my platform to change the world. And then we do what I've always set out to do is take over everything and make history. That's all I've ever wanted to do. Take over everything, make history. What does that mean? Exactly what it's take over everything, make history, and then give it back. I'm out. That's the end game. We talked a little bit about this before. I just want to hang out with my kids. I was a stay-at-home dad, because of network marketing and direct sales for a while, and was miserable because had it all, but still searching, still wanting. I've lived that. I just want to get this fighting shit done, prove what I know, and then dip. Let me hang out with my kids. Let me be a father. Let me be at peace. I just want to be at peace. I've been working my entire fucking life. I don't want to work anymore. I'm done. I just want peace.
I don't want to stray too far away from the mixed martial arts. But before the bare-knuckle fight, they introduced you, and I think one of the things they said was he spent the last couple of years as a stay-at-home father. That's like what you just said now. And I was like, I felt surprised personally, because I'm like I knew myself, like you were still working in the different facets. So I guess my curiosity is more so when it comes to like Aloe Vera.
Yeah.
How much, because I guess I'm trying to think of how to connect it, because the eradicate world hunger, child hunger, 100%. I know that in a large part is your personal mission.
Yeah.
Right. And I know in some ways that you are accomplishing that mission with Aloe Vera. Right. So when they said he's been a stay-at-home dad, I was like, but that's not all he's doing.
Yeah.
Is there a reason that those are separate, at least at this point in time?
What do you mean?
I guess I don't know, I guess.
Well, I train full-time now, right? I just train full-time and I live at Jackson Wink. So I live at the gym. I stay, live, and wake up and go train. You know what I mean? I'm always at the gym. that's now a part of my lifestyle. So before I was sitting around making beats, hanging with the kids, whatever, you know, me and my mother and my children split up, and, you know, now she has custody of them, and I don't necessarily get to see them as much as I like. I never thought it would get there. You know what I mean? I never thought it would become that. But again, that's all a part of the lesson. That's all a part of the growth. That's all a part of the humbling. That's all a part of the knowing and realizing energy, who's wherever they are, who's on your side, who's, you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's all a learning lesson. But ultimately, I still do the same things. I still make music. I still train. I go train. I come back. I make content. You know what I mean? Like, I'm always creating. I'm always, because there's music that people haven't heard yet. There's projects people don't know. The world doesn't know about Aloe Vera. That means I have more work to do. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how it all blends now. I went from living in Minnesota to living in Albuquerque at a gym, you know? So I was a stay-at-home dad for a while, but I had to go back to work for a while. You know what I mean? You were a part of Aloe Vera. We lost a lot of people, and we lost a lot of people to inside bullshit. People bumping heads and doing dumb shit. You know what I mean? I'm sure I was a part of that fall as well, making decisions that made people look at me maybe differently, you know, when I got 2 girls knocked up at the same time. Like, I can see how people would be like, I don't know if I want to follow that guy anymore. Like, I get it. But at the same time, that type of shit doesn't make me now. You understand? And all those same people follow me and support me still and now. So that's never made me. However, I understand how perceptually at that time they could have maybe thought that way. However, now I'm going to get my abundance regardless, because it's about the mission. It's not about what I've done in my personal life and whatever you agree with and whatever you don't agree with. Look, I'm going to smoke weed. I love weed. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck if you don't like it or not. If I'm wearing a suit or a business suit or not and telling you to live your dreams, that shit doesn't matter. I'm going to do what I want to do. I love women. I think I'm attractive. You know what I mean? I think that that is abundance in itself, and that we are to give and receive love. We are supposed to do that. So before, people are just looking at me maybe saying, oh, he's this, he's that. No, you just don't understand how I think and how I view the world. So don't judge me. I just want to live and be in freedom. And like you said, I believe I have freedom now, but just in a different way, you know?
We've spoken a little bit about Aloe Vera, but could you describe it more? Because I don't really know that much about it, and I think it would be interesting to figure out what it really is and to get that out and have people know about it.
Yeah, social business 3.0. So social business 3.0 is essentially like, imagine Tom's shoes. We're like the Tom shoes of what's called food technology. So all of our products are based off of food. Futureceuticals is a research firm for the oldest organic farm in America. They create food technologies, and then these billionaires or these companies will buy the patents that they create and then market their products and sell them and do whatever. It's at their discretion at that point. So our first 2 co-founders bought the patent to what's called the technology Limitless, right? That's the it's a betalain technology. Betalain is found in beets, anti-inflammatory property found in beets. They extract the sugar molecule from the betalain because sugar causes what? Inflammation. Betalain lowers inflammation. So you can still eat beets, but beets have sugar in it. So you're not going to get the anti-inflammatory property really pulled out of the beets like you could, unless you scientifically synthesize the betalain, subtract the sugar molecule, and then just give people the betalain. Well, that's what they did. So in one capsule is 500 beets worth of betalain, which lowers the inflammation in a human, the inflammation markers in a human by 47% in 90 minutes. Inflammation is the root cause of what? Everything. So that's kind of where where the company was kind of like founded. I was actually founded off of a water that hyper oxygenated your body's cells. That was known as like a cancer water, because again, cancer can't live in a high alkaline environment. And that's the guy who ended up having it, had terminal cancer. And long story short, found out that this water and what he was doing with this water helped elongate his life by however many years, like 10 years. You understand what I'm saying? And then brought that to the public. So that's what it was founded off of, became more known for the Limitless product. And then some network marketers had heard about it, you know, from another company. came over and took the opportunity upon us when there was only like 30,000 people doing it in Minnesota, or excuse me, in the country worldwide. And we brought it to a lot of people in Minnesota. We brought it to a lot of people in the Midwest, and became kind of like the staple for why it is even still around to this day. It's most prevalent in Minnesota, Wisconsin, a little bit on the East Coast, but that's because of, you know, people like us. And when they started, because they were two billionaires, Trey White and Brent Hicks, grateful for you guys, but they had never really been in the industry before. They knew that network marketing was a cash cow, right? So they had hired professional network marketers who hadn't worked in like the last 20 years. They were multimillionaires. They built businesses before. They knew how to build businesses. So they thought they could just hire network marketers to come in and build their business. Nah. We proved to them that you had to have organic stories. You had to have organic health testimonials. I was suffering my 5th concussion wrestling at the University of Minnesota. Was told I'd never compete again. Within 2.5 weeks of being on one of the products, was medically cleared to wrestle. I thought I would never compete again. So I brought it to my dad. My dad ended up, you know, being able to start walking again, running again, working out, lost 30 pounds in his first 3 months and got healthier than he's ever been. No more shoulder issues. And he could lift his shoulder above his ear for the first time since high school. He could straighten his arm. Those were big stories. And I knew if that was the case, I could sell this to anybody. I could share this with anybody. You understand? Because you can't tell me it doesn't work. Not when it has 100% money back guarantee. So that's kind of how it started. Then Sam Castor came along. He was the founder of what's called Manatech. Manatech was one of the fastest growing companies on the Inc. 500 back in the early, I think back in 2000s is when they were prime time. But Sam had stumbled upon this technology from a research group called Ace Mannin, and he was a part of that research group. They took $100 million and found out that Ace Mannin is what's now the most researched molecule on the planet, was the most powerful immune activating ingredient known to man. What it can do as far as, you know, cancers and everything that we think is crazy has been researched to show that this thing is like a healing property nobody's ever seen. Ultimately helps create stem cells in the body, right? So just what we know what stem cells can do now. Everybody's seeing what that they can do. So imagine being able to do that naturally from something derived from a plant. Well, they synthesized it, made it 5 times stronger than it was when he built a $14 billion company with Manatech, partnered with us because of our limitless technology, have kind of synced, have made like a super technology called Celebrate. And now our goal is to use that technology through a buy one, nourish two model. So if you buy a product, you feed a child with that same nutrition, because that same nutrition, or Ace Mannin, Sam, partnered up with a orphanage over in Romania that was losing hundreds of kids a year to malnutrition. He's losing a whole bunch of children, and started sending Ace Mannin over there. And within the next year, no child had died. So he said, I could save every child in the world through this buy one, nourish two model, and now we've fed over 33 million children.
And you said that's Ace Mannin? Is that like a molecule, or is that found in a plant? Or
Yep. So Aloe Vera. So it's found in aloe vera. Ace Mannin is found in aloe vera.
Okay.
So it's synthesized at the molecular level out of the aloe vera plant. It's also found in mother's breast milk. So it's the healing properties found in the aloe vera. It's the thing that is what makes aloe vera the healing molecule that it is, if that makes sense. Yeah. And they synthesized it, and it is what it is. Food technology. Food technology is the future. Our body knows food. It does not know chemical. So, and when we eradicate malnutrition from the globe, we will be the biggest company on the face of the planet, because we have got that many people healthy. When people realize the stories, when they realize what these technologies can do, everybody will be on it. It's a matter of time. And a part of the ConspiraGOAT is, bro, I've seen corruption. I know what corruption is. Ace Manning could have been approved. They tried to get Ace Manning approved as a drug. Guess why they couldn't get it approved as a drug? Because it didn't kill any rats. It made them healthier. You have to kill at least 2,000 rats, or I think it's 2,000 or 10,000 rats in a study before it can be passed, for something to be passed as a drug, because it needs to have a toxicity threshold level. They need to know how much can kill you. It didn't do that. It made everybody healthier. So that's why I couldn't get passed as a drug. Sounds like corruption to me, especially if it can help everybody. I'm here to expose that. We're going to expose everything. And we're going to help a lot of people.
You know what I'm imagining right now is your transition in your ConspiraGOAT videos, the lion roar in and out right at the end of that clip. That's
there you go.
So I know a lot of things for Joel Bauman are truly coming full circle right now. I think I'm excited about this interview, large part because of who's in this room right now, but the timing of it in your journey on your path.
Yeah.
So to kind of start that conversation, walk me through the writer that you ran into at the airport a little bit, and tell us that story.
That's crazy.
That was mind blowing.
Yeah, man. I'm getting on the plane. So first off, they overbooked the plane. So I'm standing over kind of the side because they had announced on the intercom that, hey, we overbooked the flight. If you're willing to give up your seat, if it's full, you'll get a $500 Amazon gift card. I'm like, yep, I'm going to do that because I don't need to be there anytime soon. Like, I'm just flying up early to essentially see people. This guy calls out to me and he goes, Joel Bauman. And I go, you know, I've got that before. And whenever I get that, I just kind of put on the same smile that I do for everybody. Hey, how do I know you? He's like, I wrote an article about you about 10 years ago at the University of Minnesota. Pulls up the article, shows it to me. I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. He's like, you fighting at Jackson Wink now? I said, yeah, we ended up taking a picture after we landed. And I posted the story, but he wrote an article about when Brock Lesnar, back in 2010, was the UFC champion. I was a freshman at the U of M. I had wrestled to fight. That was always the goal. I wanted to wrestle so that I could get prepared to fight, because I knew that if I went 4 years at the University of Minnesota and was a national champion and did all the things that I wanted, no one was going to fuck with me fighting, because I'd already been practicing. I'd already been, you know, kicking and doing, I thought my kicks were crazy, you know what I mean? Like, I already had it in my mind that that's what I wanted to do. So it's just funny how it comes all full circle, and that happened, you know, 2 days ago. So I'm coming here.
What I thought was really fascinating to me about that run-in for you is because in that article you kind of announced your intention to be an elite mixed martial artist.
Yeah.
Right? And you run into him now as your momentum and your likeness in the mixed martial arts realm are picking up again. You know, so it's like, to me, from the outside looking in, it's just like a universal, you know, like a signal of like, you're on the right track, Joel. You know, you set this intention. Let's put this guy on your path again real quick. Just, you know, we know you're confident in where you're going, but just to let you know, like, we see you.
Yeah, it's, you know, why I moved down to Jackson Wink was essentially for validation that I wasn't crazy, that I was what I was. Even after a loss, like, I was like, again, we talked about it. That was, I underestimated someone, didn't take anybody serious. He didn't take this dude seriously at all. Had an unfortunate situation in my nutsack going on. Like, there's a whole bunch, like, just, and everything went wrong that week. Everything went completely wrong that week. So it's like, and I had the momentum. Everything, 4 fights in, I could have been in the UFC. Who could say that? I know that was coming. You know what I mean? I know that was coming. So, now, like you said, the momentum is back. People are watching again. And this time we are prepared. We are ready. And the validation from, you know, going to Jackson Wink, like I said, like the coaches, they're saying they believe the hype. They're saying I'm going to be a world champion. So it's not just me saying it anymore. And when I've always said the reason I had success in network marketing and direct sales was because I could always portray to people. And it's a simple concept. It's how social media works. If one person thinks it's interesting, or if one person has something good to say about it, or if one person says this and agrees with this thought or has this thought, you can get another person to have that thought. If you can get 2, you can get 3. And if you can get 3, nothing is impossible.
So you're speaking about going down to Jackson Wink, and for anyone that doesn't know, it's like a super elite training facility in New Mexico. You know, John Jones, Amanda Nunes, everyone like that. How did you get there? Like, did someone reach out to you, or did you reach out to them?
So after the Bellator loss, my buddy Xavier, he does music. He's one of the top artists in Atlanta coming up right now. Super talented. Dad played ball in the league for 14 years, I think, or something like that. He's always been in my corner. He played football at the U. That's where we became friends, and he was one of the first person I ever did music with, who I thought was dope enough to do music with. Like, we both, like, we're just like, okay, this guy's kind of dope, like, whatever. Just been best friends ever since. He has always been in my corner. He was in the Bellator corner with me. Like, when I said that I didn't have my coach there originally, it was my buddy Xavier, who has no experience in fighting, and my other buddy Steve Pep, who is the guy that I talked with Justin a little bit about yesterday. He's killing it back home. He's being an example for people back home on how to kill it. He's a barber shop owner. He does a whole bunch of things. He's just many things. And those two in my corner, no fight experience. And after we lost, we were upstairs in the room, and they were more disappointed than I was, you know, because I'm just kind of laughing about it. Like, I just fucked that up. How did I fuck that up? Like, how did this happen? You know what I mean? Like, I could win that fight 99 out of 100 times, but I just mentally just shat because I didn't give a fuck ultimately. Like, there wasn't enough to make me give a fuck. I've shown before. I've shown that when something is on the line, I go. But this guy really just didn't bring it out of me, and then I played into his hand. You understand what I'm saying? So we're up in the room, and they just go, you need to go to Jackson Wink. You need to go, because before that I was training up here in Minnesota, and I was, you know, I didn't really, I had training partners. I'm not shitting on my old gym. I needed to get pushed, you know, like I needed to know that I could go with the best in the world. My goal was to go down there and, you know, work with John, and he was my first target. Izzy's my target now. John moved up, you know, 2 weight classes and whatever, but that was my goal. I wanted to let John and everybody know I'm here. And, you know, I got there and I was the crazy guy. I rode a motorcycle down there on 20-degree weather. Left Minnesota. When I left, I rode a motorcycle down about a 1987 Yamaha Virago. Called it the Ride Toward the Dream, hashtag Ride Toward the Dream. And I went from Minnesota all the way down to Albuquerque, packed like everything that I could fit on a motorcycle to go down and live in the dorms and do it. You know, I started in the dorms. Now I have my own apartment there. But when I got there, like I said, man, and I literally drove through rain, sleet, and snow. I drove through snow. When I left Sioux Falls, it was 20 degrees. And when I hit Kansas City, I was driving through in snow for 3.5 hours. It's about 3 hours. So that was the hardest thing I've ever done, was that cross country trek. And my headlight went out on Route 66. And if you know anything about Route, and I was about 3 hours away from getting there, and it was already starting to go down. Like, the sun was already starting to go down, and when it gets dark in the desert, it gets dark, and I have no headlight, and I'm sitting behind semis and sitting behind cars, using their lights to try to see anything, but I had to make it. You know what I mean? Like, I could have waited till morning, but I was that miserable where I had to make it. I've been going for like 2 or 3 days, and yeah. So when I got there, it was like, I just rode a motorcycle cross country and had my headlight go out on Route 66 and didn't die. You know what I mean? Hitting potholes and everything, and I survived. So, like, I'm supposed to be here. We did it. I moved. The hardest thing was, like, moving away from my kids. That was the battle. Getting there and moving away from my kids, that was the battle. Being here, training, doing all that was, and I could see that the coaches were testing me when I got there. You know, they definitely tested me, because I Coach Wink. I'm going to be the best fighter in the world. I'm here to be the best. I'm not here to make friends. I'm not here. Now I have friends, but I'm not here to make friends. I moved away from my family to do this. 2 years to a belt. That was the goal. 2 years to a belt. You said, okay. 2 weeks later, and 2 weeks later, he's kind of questioning that. Some situations happen. I'll just say I proved myself worthy, and comes up to me and wants to hit pads. Coach Wink, the big guy. So it took me 2.5 weeks, to get the big guy's attention, and now he is my number one voucher. They know, So I'm grateful. I'm just so grateful and so humbled, honestly, but it's everything I knew, so that's why I have to stay ready. It's the balance. You know what I mean?
Why are they coming to you with fights on such short notice? Constantly.
Nobody will take the fight. Nobody will give me a camp. Nobody wants me to have a camp. I understand, but you have to understand, I'm only here for a little bit. I'm not going to do this for a very long time. I don't really want to do this for a long time. I just want you to hear my music. So if you guys can just take the fucking fight, this is inevitable. So let's just do the thing, and we can be done with this. And then I'll give it back to you guys, and then I'm going to get the fuck out of here. So just let's fight, and we'll do it. Okay? We're going to do that now.
Lovely.
Yes.
Then, so I guess we talked. Well, for one, I love your responses.
Yeah.
Like, it's clear from my perspective, at least, that you know what your path is. You know at least what your vision is.
Yes.
Right? And it doesn't seem like there is any variability as to the possibility of what you're envisioning is what is going to come to fruition. I believe that because of your confidence in your vision. Now, how do you achieve such clarity in your vision?
6 years ago, I made a beat that you've never heard of before, that no one's ever heard of before, that is one of the dopest beats on the planet right now. You've never heard it. Nobody's ever heard it, but I believe that. And it's funny, I can say that because I release music from beats. A lot of the music that I've released in the last 2-3 years are from beats that are super old, that I've just been sitting on, waiting for the right time to either allow the song to come to me, and then, within a week or whatever, I might put it out. That's how I know, because of the feeling. Because I sat back and when I was creating, I go, ooh, this is pretty dope. I know this is dope because of how it makes me feel. So now it's just allowing people to catch up with the feelings. All of this is just feeling. I felt all these things. I used to hit the bay. I used to make myself cry when I worked out when I was in high school. I was a savage. I don't even train like that now. But we're going to get back to it. We're going to get back to it. We're getting back to it. That's what this is. I've just been waiting. It's all opportunity. But I used to make myself cry hitting the bag, and I would used to scream, I'm the best. I'm the best. My throat would go rasp from me yelling and screaming at my bag hanging in my garage on my farm that I lived at. I would make myself cry from my workouts back then, envisioning me winning a UFC title. People have no fucking, they're catching up to the story. My friends can verify that. John Glimsdahl, where are you at, brother? I remember you looking at me like I was crazy when I was hitting that bag the one day when I was working out, and you came over when I was working out, getting ready for nationals that year, and the year that I won. I didn't hang out with really any of my friends. They had to come hang out with me. And some of my friends came over. They saw me working out. That year I won nationals. That was the year that I went from the laughing stock of my national team to, oh, wow, he can actually, oh, okay. Oh, that's nice. Tech followed my way through, whatever. Now I'm a recruit. Now I'm getting recruited. Now I'm getting looked at. But 2 years before that, y'all were laughing at me. Okay. Bro, it's that thing. I don't need any fucking validation from anybody. You know what I mean? I validate myself every time I make a dope beat. Nobody needs to hear it. I listen to my music all the time, my unreleased music. I'm just waiting. It's all about patience. It's all about platform. The reason I say I want to get out of fighting as fast as possible is because I ultimately, and I have this vision. Casey knows this. My audio engineer, who I've been working with for many years. I said, bro, I can't wait till I can just hand you $5 million, and we're gonna sit in the studio, and we're gonna release everything. We're gonna get everything to where I want to get it to, and then we're just gonna release it. That's all we're gonna do. We're gonna take. I don't care if it takes me a year, but I have so much that I'm just sitting on. So many ideas, so many thoughts, so many creations. There's a reason I don't do music videos. You want to know why I don't do music videos? Because my music videos that are in my head will cost me millions. I want to do that. I plan on doing that, but I plan on funding it myself. I'm going to be my bank. I'm going to be my investor. I'm going to be all these things, and we're going to have the vision. But it takes patience. It takes time, and that's why we have to do everything that we're doing, and that's why I don't need anybody's validation, because I've already decided what I'm doing. Logan Paul and fucking Mayweather and Conor and all these people, they're examples of possibility, but I will be an example of possibility as well, and I know this. I have to be. Otherwise, I wouldn't feel what I feel when I create. Otherwise, I wouldn't have the visions to do what I do. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been blessed with opportunities like Aloe Vera. It's just not, it's not possible. It's not possible that all this doesn't align as it should. Yeah.
When the opportunity to come up to fight in bare-knuckle mixed martial arts, what is that like for the mindset?
The mindset was, so the original, that opponent wasn't my original opponent. It was another guy. He was supposedly 8-7, and I just said 8-7, bare-knuckle MMA. It's George Masvidal's promotion. First off, this guy, whoever it is, who's ever 8-7, isn't going to beat me. So I sent it to my manager and I said, hey, I want to take this fight. Here's my thought process. One, I'm not going to throw hands whatsoever. I'm going to wrestle, and I'm going to take him down. I'm going to get easy win. It's probably going to be an easy payday. They're probably going to pay pretty well because it's bare knuckle. BKFC, I know, pays decent. So let's just get a quick, easy win. I need to be active right now. I got to get to 7-1, because when I'm at 7-1 or 6-1, 7-1, we think that we'll get a call from the UFC, right? Or we'll be there. So we need to fast track. I don't have time, because I don't know if they're going to try to lock shit down again. You know, all this bullshit's going on. I have no idea. We gotta go, because they already took a year from me on this last bullshit, right? So I said, I want to do this, and I'm going to do it. Opponent got switched. It ended up being Brandon Johnson, and it ended up being a catchweight because it was on 4 days' notice. I thought it was the week after. I was going to take it a week. It was going to be a week notice. No, it was a 4-day notice, because I found out it was that weekend. Messaged the guy that was putting on the promotion off of a Facebook message group, because I'm in a looking for a fight Facebook group, and he was a promoter. I said, I'm going to take that fight. He got back to me. We made it happen. And bare knuckle, bro, it doesn't matter. It's fighting. It's fighting at the end of the day. This person is trying to hurt me. I am trying to hurt them, essentially, for money, fame, notoriety, and securing my family's future and building a platform. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. There's no eye gouging. There's no ball shots. We're not doing it to the death, so it doesn't really matter. That's what matters. If this is just a show for people that want to tune in and see dumb shit,
So you said you were going to go into bare knuckle and wrestle. Then what the fuck happened? Because you knocked his ass out.
I got caught in the feeling, man. I follow intuition. Like, I decided to take him down because he was coming at me. It was very hard for me to get into that fight. Just because in the back of my mind, I knew I was going to win. And again, whenever I know I'm going to win, it's hard for me to get up for it, right? So it's always been my thing, is playing to the level of my competition. Not doing that is what I need to not do. So the entire time I'm talking to myself, just like, okay, you got to get up for this. You got to get up for this. He's coming at me very, very aggressively, very, very hard. I can see he wants to throw hands. So I'm like, okay, I know what's going to happen. Like, I got to go. I can't sit back. I can't let this guy gain confidence, because he's one of those guys that will gain confidence if you let him stick around. That's everybody, right? They'll start to believe, oh, I'm in this. And I love that man. That man is so dope. I didn't want to fight him in. And like, he's the nicest guy in the world. Like, he's such a genuine, awesome human being. Love Brandon Johnson. Did not want to fight him. But I could see he had that warrior spirit. You know what I mean? So after I take him down, and he's Like normally people will just kind of stall there. He's actively hammer fisting me in the back of the head. You know, he got me over here. He gave me a nice little lump on the side of my face, and I'm just going, oh, he wants to fight. He wants to fight. He's not cowering. He's bringing it, and he is here. Perfect. I'm gonna let him up. Let's do this. You understand? That woke me up. Because for the entire time I'm talking to myself, trying to get myself going, I'm just like, he wants to fight. Perfect. That's what I'm waiting for. Fight me. Fight me. I don't go full out in practice, bro. We don't go full out in practice. We're not trying to hurt people. You know what I mean? Like, but now I get to go. So we went. That's all it was. I crave now as the ConspiraGOAT, all this. You want to know what that is? It's bringing it out of me. It's bringing it out of me. If someone spit in my face now, I don't know what I would do. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know if that's because of a self-respect thing. I don't know if that's just because of I just am not taking bullshit. Now, it's him wanting to fight me isn't bullshit. People thinking they can compete with me, if I have it in my mind that they can't, I think that's bullshit. I need to staunch that immediately. You understand what I'm saying? And that's where we are now. Like, I love Israel Adesanya, his confidence, his bravado. But if he were to act that way with me, perfect. Perfect. Pull it out of me. Attack me. Try and hurt me. I have something tucked, and I want to pull it out. You know what I mean? I haven't pulled out anything yet. I haven't shown the world anything. Wait till we do. You know what I mean? Like, wait till it actually comes out. But it has to be pulled out for the right person.
So impressive first round knockout, but
Appreciate it.
Those are the promotions love to see that, you know, like that's what they want out of a fighter. They want entertaining fights. They want fights to finish. Yeah. So after that performance, have you figured out the next move? Are you gonna maybe go again with that, or has anyone reached out, or what's your plan?
Bare-knuckle is talking to me, bare-knuckle MMA, Game Bread, about maybe, you know, doing like a 2-fight deal or a 3-fight deal where I fight for their title because they want to have a title. You know what I mean? So if they could, you know, get me to go to the UFC as their champion, it would make them look good. So I'm not opposed to that because, again, they pay and the exposure is out there. You know, they're getting sponsors. You know, they're one of the few people that get sponsors that are actually paying fighters. So it's like, I'm open to any and all avenues that will bring me closer to the end game, which is the UFC. I had a contract with Bellator that I was going to, you know, have, and got medically. I'm not medically cleared through them because they need me to take an MRI because my last MRI before my last fight came back with things that made them alarmed, probably just from my concussions from wrestling, right? That still show up that I'm fine from now. But there was that opportunity. I don't really want to go back there. It's time to go to the UFC. It's just time. Whatever gets me there the fastest. If that's LFA, awesome. If that's bare knuckle, awesome. If that's smaller promotions until I get a fight, a bigger fight, awesome. Who cares? We have to be in the UFC. It's just have to.
So we talked about you almost like losing this past year in your mixed martial arts career. And I remember there was an instance, you didn't lose a fight, but you didn't get an opportunity to fight in a card that you were booked for.
Yes.
Was that LFA or was that?
No, that was Bellator.
That was Bellator?
That was the COVID bullshit.
Yeah, what happened with that?
So they said I tested positive for COVID, came back, got a blood test. It was negative. You know what I mean? It's bullshit. So we went on Clay Clark's primetime show. Clay Clark, obviously, you know, world famous, renowned podcaster, Thrive Time show. If you've never heard of it, go check out that episode. And we exposed it. That's when that's when everything really started to get out there. I was already kind of exposing stuff and, you know, doing whatever. But, like, that's when we really started to get out there that way. And, yeah, man, it was just a bullshit false positive COVID test. And they wouldn't, you know.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I did take a second test to validate that I never had it. I never got my results back. That was over a year ago. Why the fuck do you think that is? If you're watching this, if you just have a fucking brain, I test positive for COVID, get a blood test that says I'm not positive, go back the next day, get another blood test, and they still have to send me my results. Never got a bill for it, never got anything. I don't know. That's kind of fucking shady to me. It's just weird. Why do you think I'm the ConspiraGOAT? It's because it's not conspiracy, motherfuckers.
So one thing that still is really on my mind for us to touch on in this instance here is taking it back now to NCAA,
Yep.
U of M wrestling.
Is that me?
It might be.
Hey, my bro. How are you? Guess who that is? The people who own bare-knuckle FC.
Is this hitting you up right now?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He owns First Round Management, which was my first management company. He's the manager of, like, George Masvidal and John Jones. Yeah, they came up to me afterwards, but I was already signed with them. Long story short, the guy that signed me to First Round is the guy that put me against the guy that I lost to in Bellator. So he signed both of us and was making a play on both of us and ended up leaving First Round after that fight. You understand? They just had a fallout. They didn't even know I was signed to them. So they came back up to me after the event and they said, hey. My buddy Xavier looked at him. He's like, we've already been signed to you. He's like, what? He's like, let me put my number in your phone. So he put his number in my phone, and I already told him I was working with Coach Wink and another guy, but like he's trying to get me out of my contract to get signed with him so that they can put me on these bare-knuckle cards and like try to promote me and then get me sponsors. I mean, it's all kind of, I'm open to everything, but just how the play was the first time around and the character involved in it, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a character guy. That's kind of weird character to me. I don't give a fuck if they're the number one agency in fighting right now. It's energy. I don't necessarily like that energy. I don't know you guys. You really don't know me. You just see opportunity and money and dollar signs, and I get it. I understand how this business works, but I understand how business works. I'm a businessman. I'm an entrepreneur. If it was my case, I wouldn't be signed to anybody. The only reason I'm signed to a dude right now is because Coach Wink wants me to work with that individual. And I respect that man as a businessman, you know?
So a lot of people don't understand the connection between Joel Bauman and the most recent rule change in the NCAA. Do you want to break that down for people a little bit?
Go watch The Business of Amateurs. The Business of Amateurs is a documentary that I was featured in 2012 where Bob DeMars, an ex-USC athlete, made it his life mission to expose the NCAA. He's a filmmaker out in LA, and that was his baby. It was all made by NCAA athletes. I made the end title track for the film. The animation was done by an NCAA athlete. Bob DeMars shot the film. We exposed the NCAA. It was the #1 documentary on iTunes when it first came out. And I believe that documentary and Ed O'Bannon was a part of it, who was on the Daily Show with Jon Stewart with me. I believe like we are the catalyst. It's not just me. There's a bunch of people behind it. Yeah, my story went viral, but go watch the Business of Amateurs, and that will explain everything. And it's a great movie. It's a 5-star movie. So,
where can one find that movie right now? Is it still on iTunes?
Yep. Amazon, iTunes. It should be on Amazon and iTunes. Amazon Prime. You can download it, buy it. It's an incredible movie. The Business of Amateurs. Business of Amateurs.
I think a lot about do you feel like you made a sacrifice at that time?
No, because ultimately I'm going to get paid a lot from it. Like, I believe it's all energy, right? I'm never going to see any arrears from the NCAA, I don't believe. If it happens, awesome. Thank you, universe. But I don't believe I'm going to see anything from it other than the validation of me being right. Bro, that's all I need. I need the feeling of being right. I was right. I knew I wasn't the entire, and I've seen the path. I've seen, they're going to let athletes make money. It's going to take a while, but they're going to let athletes make money. And when they do, boom, validated. And then guess what? We get more influence. Influence is the currency of the future. Why do I do ConspiraGOAT? Because it allows me to gain influence. Because you can go back a year ago and see that I said everything that was going to happen that is now happening. I said it a year ago when I was the crazy guy that was doing live streams talking about the Illuminati card game. Like, you know what I mean? People, oh, this guy's fucking crazy. He's talking about energy and Illuminati card game. And now we are how far away from COVID passports? Oh, they're actually doing venues and events where you have to show proof of vaccination. Oh, but in that, we are now seeing that these vaccines potentially have adverse health side effects. And now that's all coming out, and the CDC and the FDA are now saying, hey, maybe hold off on vaccines. What? So, like, bro, I don't give a fuck. I just want shit to be, I just want us all to be in utopia. That's all I fucking want. I don't give a fuck about people. Great, athletes can make money now. Make as much money as possible so that we all can give back to humanity, so that then you can inspire me and I can inspire you, and we continue to inspire and create and just be more. Let's just fucking be more. And then I can hang out with my kids on a beach and be making so much money that I can donate and live off 1% of my income. And we just thrive. There's food everywhere for everybody. There's shelter everywhere for everybody. Everybody's fucking thriving. Everybody's winning. And we're fucking aliens. Like literally having sex with aliens. Interplanetary, you know? Alien porn. Has to go.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yes.
So I think for context in this interview setting, I think it's important to say I do hold you as a pioneer in a lot of ways to that NCAA rule change.
I'm grateful, yeah.
And I think there is, credit's given where credit is deserved, and I think that will come to fruition for you. But I do think that you deserve to hear that vocally. Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm grateful for all the messages that I've received. Don't take my ill-witted response as like I am grateful. I'm grateful that the vision is now getting seen and it's on the cusp of all the other things that are happening. It is momentum, but it is my story. That's all it is. That's why I don't make a big deal out of it, because I've known that this was going to be the case. People are just catching up to the story. My first self-produced album was entitled The Greatest Story Ever Told, or Genie Is, right? Genie is. Don't you see I am a genie is? I make my dreams come true. That's what a genie is. I've been saying this shit since back in 2014. It's 2021 now. Like 2013 is when I made that song. Like, bro, we've been knowing. It's just a matter of now people are catching up. So like, I am grateful for all the energy and all the support, but you got to understand, you can probably understand why I'm a little like over it. Because for all the people that are giving me that, well, did you hear my last project? What do you think of this song? Like, you know what I mean? Like, has all that sacrifice made a dent into getting me where I ultimately want to be? Yes and no. You understand what I'm saying? Yes and no. We're not there yet. That's why I don't give a fuck.
I do absolutely understand what you're saying, and I can see, not that you're expressing frustration, but I can see how from your position that would be incredibly frustrating to all of a sudden, I've been saying this shit. Now you want to catch up to me? Now you want to agree? Now you want to push forward what you called me crazy and dismissed years ago? So I can I think maybe give you credit for not really expressing that frustration the way that you would be, I think you would be allowed to, or do you get what I'm saying?
I don't need to. Mm-hmm. I'm at peace, brother. I'm at peace. I'm so grateful for my life. Like I said, I haven't seen my children. I don't know, because I don't like to think about it, but it's been over a year. That hurts. I have to live with that every day. You understand what I'm saying? And I have to live every day with battles that people don't see. You understand? They think these battles with the NCAA. Where were you when I was living out of my car after I had success that you thought I did? Let's be fucking honest. Where were you when I was struggling to fucking pay rent and I had to go back to work? I had to get a job, but now I'm paying. I had still paid child support, right? But both mothers of my children put child support on me at the same time as I was making more money than I'd ever made, and I didn't think it was coming. You know what I mean? I'm making, damn near 6 figures at an early age. They both put it on, and to this day, I have not changed for arrears because I refuse to say I'm not abundant, even though I had to go back to work and I was seeing $200 a check. Imagine that. I work an entire month and I'm making maybe $400, having to borrow money from my fucking parents to pay rent. People don't see that. People haven't seen that. They just saw the guy that was fucking speaking on stage, not knowing that all that money slowly started to dwindle, Bro, I've been at the bottom. Everybody wants to join the bandwagon now. Hey, I'm grateful, but you don't know the whole story. The story will get told, during all this time when she kind of left, that's when I met my fiance now. You know what I mean? And I never thought it was going to be anything. She did the same thing, same cycle of growth. You understand what I'm saying? She started to grow. She started to become. And it was when no one was around. I stopped going to meetings. I stopped speaking. I let my team just kind of fall apart because I was done not being authentic. That's when I started focusing on music. That's when I started focusing on becoming everything that I am. You understand what I'm saying? That if it wasn't for having to almost live out of my car and staying in my producer's house with another one of my friends who was also a struggling artist at that time, and we were both trying to make it together, ended up getting a job at a nightclub downtown to learn what people were listening to musically and sonically, to start to try and figure out how to create, because I was doing my own thing, I was doing my own music. I became a student, you know what I mean? In that struggle, I became a student, met my fiance now, started to grow in that relationship, and all of that struggle and bullshit, bro, people don't know, and that's why I don't give a fuck, I just want to see my kids. Some people are making that difficult, but someday it won't be difficult. I will get what I want at the end of the day. People will know my heart. You understand? What was my biggest fear is maybe people won't know my heart after all that. No, fuck that. I am what I am. I am love. And I just want to give back to humanity and ascend and be with my fam. You know what I mean? That's all I want. Long-winded answer, but there you go.
That was good.
So one thing I absolutely want to get to while we're still here is to talk a bit about identity. I've heard you talk a little bit about it yourself. I know you've said some things that at first to me were kind of shocking, right? But then when I search myself and I think about what you're saying, I'm like, oh shit, me too. Yeah. Yes. So talk to me a bit about.
I'm very triggering, and I want to be. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because if I'm triggering, I've had to do the shadow work, bro. I went from being the only African American in a small community. We live in a sensitive ass time right now. I was the only African American in a small community of Norwegians. Grew up on a farm, was adopted. My mom chose to give me life, to give me that experience, because she thought that would be a better experience than what she grew up in, which it was. My mom lived a fucking crazy life. Crazy, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful that she chose to do that. I've seen people change because of me in a positive way. Supposedly dated the town racist daughter. We ended up becoming best friends after a year and a half. He was my guy. To this day, they still support me. His wife came up to me afterwards, and after our 9-month anniversary or year anniversary, and she goes, I know you've heard some things about I'm never going to forget this. I know you've heard some things probably about my husband. I just want to let you know you're the first person ever to change his life, and I want you to let you know he loves you. He grew up being bullied by African Americans on a military base and grew to hate them because he got beat up and bullied and picked on. And I was the first person to come along and treat him like a human. Regardless of what anybody had said about him, I was fearless. The first time I met him, I sat down on the couch as he was sitting there watching African safari hunting. And I go, what are they hunting today? And he looked at me. I'm never going to forget it. He looked at me and goes, you watch this too? And I go, yep. My buddy Brad comes in with a panic look. He comes in with a panic look and he just like sits down next to me. And he's like trying to nudge me because the girl that I was trying to talk to was downstairs. And he's like, Joel, what are you doing up here? And I'm like, bro, I'm watching African Safari with her dad. Chill out. You know what I mean? Because I was there to see her. And he goes, we should go downstairs. And I go, nah, I kind of like kicking it with her dad. He's really cool. Like, I'll be down in a second. Go on. And continue to talk to him. All of a sudden, she comes up. Wide-eyed. I'm never going to forget it. Oh, it's because I didn't know. I was blind. It was ignorance, bro. It was just ignorance and love. And she looks at me and she goes, hi, guys. You guys ready to come downstairs? And I go, yeah, I'm just going to kick it with your dad for a little bit longer. Having a good conversation. She's like, well, you should come downstairs. And Brad puts his arms over me. He's like, Joel, come downstairs. Oh, I said his name. Come downstairs. And as we're walking downstairs, he goes, hey, her dad's a racist. You know that, right? And I go, nah. And then I continue to hear that. I continue to hear that from so many people. And I just go, no. And it wasn't until her mom came up and said that at our anniversary where I'm just like, I'm here to change people. I'm here to change perspective because the world isn't as bad as what we think it is. Did I have people around me that maybe thought a certain way? Yeah, but I changed them all, in my opinion. I made them have to see through any dumb perception that they had that label that they were trying to put on me was not real. Love is love. Be a good person. And there's black people in the KKK. You want to know why? Because that group probably accepted them when nobody else did. There are no labels. What are you? You're love. Shut the fuck up and be that. None of them will battle me. You know, I'm in that circuit. None of them will do it. Why? Because I don't fit the mold. And if they lose to me, then they think they're less than because I don't fit a certain mold. You know what I mean? Like, that's a label. And that's a label from my own people. Or what perceived as my own people. Black people. Fuck that, bro. Yes, we all have different races. And I believe that, you know, what is considered what I am is divine. I believe kings and queens and the ancients of old, Egypt, the more whatever, you know what I mean? Kemet, you know, all this. However, everybody's divine. That brother right there is divine. It's just a matter of awakening to it and seeing what you have to offer. And there can be no labels in the I am. I learned that early on in my spiritual awakening. What is a label? What is anything? Oh, you're that? You believe you're that? Foolish. You are. I am. If we strip you naked right now and we put you out in public, what are you? You're a naked man.
Human.
You're human. You're that, but you're that all the time. Everything else is just a projection that you're trying to project yourself as. You know what I mean? There is nothing. There is no label. It's just I am. And if that can give anybody anything, stay there. Because they're trying to label you everything. Gay, trans, queer, liberal, Republican. They're trying to label people everything. Fuck a label and be. Because then you can't be manipulated. Because you have no emotional attachment to anything. You can just be at peace and be what you are. Who gives a fuck if you're sucking a dick? Does that make you gay? No, I'm not trying to get into a philosophical question. But what is that? What is a nigger? What is a racist? Just be and exist. If you hurt people, die. Get out. You'll be taken care of. The universe will take care of you. But if you're of love and you just want to thrive in your own essence and be of yourself and love those that are around you and take care of who that you want to take care of, perfect. We win.
Okay, let me pose this question to you, because this is actually something I'm curious about.
Yes.
If you had a microphone and that microphone went out to the entire world and you had 30 seconds to speak and miraculously everyone could understand what you were saying, what would you tell the world?
I have a song that is unreleased that it's like my 5-minute message to the world that I wrote back in, I think, high school. And ultimately, what I say in it, to paraphrase, is what I've pretty much already said. You are a divine being. If you believe you are of God, everybody is, they say religion rules the world, right? They say Christians, there's so many. They believe that they come from a divine energy source. Adam and Eve, both, came from God, right? So if they came from God, that means you are of divinity. You have to ask Christ in your heart to be saved. Okay. What if you're already Christ, but you have to unlock that consciousness? What if you just have to be more loving and be full of gratitude? And when you're full of gratitude, you're walking and you're being what you need to be to energetically manifest. If thoughts are things, then what if you just embody being the thing that you want or are? Just be that thing. Embody love, and you have to manifest. When I figured out that I could control, I used to pray when I was a child to God, because I was a very religious child. I used to get made fun of and called Bible boy because I wanted to save my friends from eternal damnation. I wanted to save the world. I didn't want anybody to go to hell. That was my biggest fear for everybody and myself, was to not go to hell. And that's why I was so adamant about bringing people to Jesus. And when I realized, and I used to pray, and I used to say, God, can I make it through today? Just can I make it to 3 o'clock? I'm never going to forget this. Can I make it to 3 o'clock without getting in a fight with this said and said teacher? Can I make it without getting in an argument with this said and said friend? And when I realized that I could control my thoughts and my emotions and create my reality, it absolutely changed my life. Don't let anybody manipulate you into thinking that you are not in control of your emotions or your life or your thoughts. You are in control. Everybody wants to be a victim. Everybody wants to have a disability, or everybody wants to talk about what they are not. You are. Don't ever diminish yourself and talk about what you are not and what you can and can't do, or what disability you have. You have no disability. You are the I am. You are source. You are powerful. Stay there. It's time. It's time. We have to go. We have to give back to humanity, right? And it's not about me, bro. It is literally about humanity. I am fighting every day for humanity. That's it. I just want humans to win. We have to win this time around. Everything is at stake. There's so many people watching. And I don't mean people, I mean beings. This is a divine time, and we just have to win. And I have to be all that I need to be, and we all need to be all we need to be for that to happen. So that's it.
Yeah, it seems like in the society right now, there's a lot of like negativity going around, and so for me, just by hearing you talking, you seem like just a light of positivity, and it's refreshing. You know what I mean? To hear what you're saying, because a lot of people kind of say the opposite, or they talk about what they're not, or what they, things like that. So it's a breath of fresh air, man. I enjoyed this conversation a lot. I think you have a lot of insightful thoughts, and just it's insane, dude. I loved listening to you. Like, it's incredible.
I've been in hell, man. I hated myself. Mm-hmm. I've wanted to kill myself before. I almost did. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I've been there.
100%.
So it's like when you realize that you don't have to be there, and that your brain is a muscle, and that you can train it just like any other part of the body. All these girls are starting to figure out, I don't need to get an ass job. I can go to the gym. Yeah. Right?
Right.
I don't need to get the Botox and the lipo. I can go work for it. Well, you can do the same thing with your brain. And when you decide to do that, because the universe is mental, it rewards you. The reason that people are so pissed off and because they're not growing. Growth is the infinite principle of the universe. As long as you're growing, you're becoming. And life is all about becoming. I believe that you can become of a God. I believe that. I don't need anybody else to believe that. I believe I'm going to live forever if I so choose. But I have to choose it here first. That's why everybody says, you know, that a lot of people that hang out with me say, you're really strict with your diet. No, I just eat life. You understand?
Kind of. I don't know. What do you mean by that?
I eat I eat living food. Eat life.
Oh, right.
Inflammation is the root cause of everything, right? What happens if we just lower the inflammation in our bodies to naturally nothing and then fill ourselves up with stem cells and create new cells all the time? Do you realize that we can regenerate, right? You cut your finger, what happens? You regenerate. Do you realize that people have come back? Go read the book, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. People have done miraculous things, like even regrow limbs.
Really?
What are we talking about? But this is the stuff that you don't hear.
It's crazy. Like,
you understand what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
this is the stuff that you don't hear. Why isn't this knowledge everywhere? This is why I get pissed. This is why I go, right? This is why people see me go off, or this is why ConspiraGOAT is a thing, because I'm sick and fucking tired of people not having this type of information. Right. What the fuck are we talking about? How didn't you know that? How didn't you know that the mind is so powerful that we can think ourselves into literally anything? What? That's bullshit. I think my sons need to know that now. If I had that information, bro, when I was a kid, do you realize how many times I wouldn't have had to pray for a fucking good day? I used to pray for good days at school. What? To now, hey, did you know that you can control your thoughts in your mind? And if you think a certain way, you can actually reprogram your mind and the neurotransmitters in your mind. You can actually make that so you feel less stress hormone. You feel less cortisol. You can actually reprogram your adrenal glands. You can do all that by your fucking thoughts. I used to hate myself because I would get angry and I wouldn't know how to control it. Bro, that was just energy that I needed to express. Now I get it. Anybody that is depressed right now, if you're depressed right now, express yourself. Go create. Go do the thing that is scaring you to do, because that's what you want to do. I've done all my fears. I'm doing all my fears. I told you I was afraid to hit people. I'm fighting now, and I like it. This is the first time I've ever liked fighting. You understand what I'm saying? I put my music out there to the world for them to either laugh at or understand. Back my Genie is my first album. Nobody got the album when I dropped it. Nobody understood it except a couple people that were close to me. And now people are starting to listen to the interviews, go back, and it doesn't matter. You just have to express yourself. That's how you deal with it all. You have to express yourself and become. And as you become and you grow, you're at peace. I'm doing everything I've ever wanted to do. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm doing everything I want to do. So how can I be fucking stressed? You understand what I'm saying? More people need to do that. That's why my mantra was what? Here's to the dreams. I've been saying that for now. It's to the crown. King Bao. It's to the crown, right? It went from here's to the dreams to the crown. Same symbol, but now I got a crown on my head. What is here's to the dreams? What is the symbol? It is when everybody lives their dream, we'll have peace on earth. That's my vision. That has been the vision. So when I say here's to the dreams, or now when I say to the crown, when you see that, that's what that is, bro. The world is catching up. I have a song called To the Crown where I explain this. The world is catching up when we teach people that if they live their dreams and become all that they can be, not only will they be at peace with themselves, but we'll have a utopia that we created on this fucking planet like nobody's ever seen before. That's the goal.